Level 1. The birth. You are born on a Tuesday in November. The year is 1250. The village has no name worth recording. It is just a cluster of huts in rural Yorkshire, England. Your mother delivers you on a dirt floor. There is straw beneath her. There is a pig in the corner. The midwife cuts the cord with a knife used for everything else. You survive the night. That is not guaranteed. Half the children born in this village will not see their 5th birthday. Fever takes them. Winter takes them. Hunger takes the rest. But you survive. And the moment you do, you belong to someone. Not your father, not your mother. You belong to the Lord of the Manor. You didn't sign anything. You didn't agree to anything. You were born into it. Your blood made the contract. Your name is William. It means nothing here. What matters is your family name. Serf. Villain. Unfree. That is what you are. That is what your father was. That is what his father was before him. The land owns you now. Level 2, the childhood. You are 5. You are already working. You scare birds away from the crops with a stick and a loud voice. You carry water from the stream. You follow the pigs into the forest so they can eat acorns. You learn to walk without shoes in the cold because shoes cost money you don't have. Your home is one room, wattle and daub walls packed with mud. A thatched roof that leaks when it rains. Your family sleeps together on a straw mat. Your father, your mother, your 3 siblings, and a goat tied to the post by the door. The goat is important. More important than it sounds. The goat means milk. Milk means survival. You understand this before you understand anything else. You don't go to school, there is no school. The priest reads from Latin. You understand none of it. You learn to count by counting sacks of grain. You learn to measure by measuring fields. By 10, you can plow a furrow. By 12, you plow them all day without stopping. Level 3, the obligation. You are 14. The Lord's steward comes to your father with the list. 3 days a week, on the domain. Every week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you belong to the Lord. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You work your own strip of land. Your strip is 3 acres. It is not yours. You cannot sell it. You cannot leave it. You work it because working it is how you eat. But first you give the Lord his share. Then the church takes a tithe. 1/10 of everything you grow goes to the parish. Whatever is left you keep. In a good year, you keep 60% of your harvest. In a bad year, the math becomes a death sentence. During harvest season, it gets worse. The steward demands 4 days, sometimes 5. Your crops sit in the field going soft while you cut the Lord's grain. You watch your own harvest spoil from a distance. You say nothing. Saying something is not an option. Level 4, the fees. You want to grind your grain into flour. You carry your grain to the Lord's mill. The miller charges you. He takes a cut before you leave. You want to bake bread. The Lord's oven is the only oven large enough. You pay to use it. You want to fish in the river. The river runs through the Lord's land. You pay for that too. There is a word for all of this. Tillage. It is a tax the Lord can demand at any time for any reason in any amount. You cannot refuse it. You have no legal recourse. The court that would hear your complaint is the Lord's court. The judge is the Lord's man. The outcome is always the same. You pay. You also pay the chevage. It is a head tax, a fee for existing as an unfree person on unfree land. It follows you like a shadow every single year of your life. Level 5. The marriage. You are 19. You want to marry a woman from the next village. Her name is Agnes. She works for a different lord. You go to your lord first. You have to. You cannot marry without his permission. He grants it. The price is the Merchet fee. It is 3 shillings. You do not have 3 shillings. 3 shillings is weeks of additional labor, weeks of cutting timber, and hauling stone for the Lord's building projects on top of everything else you already owe. You pay it. You have no other choice. Agnes comes to live with you. She is now bound to your lord. Her children will be bound to your lord. The contract multiplies. You move into a slightly larger hut. Larger means 2 rooms. The second room has the animals in it. They share your walls. Their warmth keeps you alive in January. You share everything with them. You don't think about how this looks. You have never known anything different. Level 6. The harvest failure. The summer of 1258 is cold and wet. The rye does not grow. The wheat does not grow. The strips you tend every waking hour give you almost nothing. The Lord still collects his share. The church still collects its tithe. What remains would not feed a goat for a month. You eat the seed grain. You know what that means. Next spring, you will have nothing to plant. But next spring feels impossible to worry about when this winter is already killing you. Agnes boils leather into soup. You give the children first portions. You and she go without. Your youngest daughter does not survive February. You dig the grave yourself in frozen ground with a tool meant for cutting roots. The priest says the words. You stand in the snow. You feel nothing except cold. The Lord does not reduce your obligations. The spring schedule begins on time. Level 7. The law. You have no legal standing in the king's courts. You are unfree. Only free men can bring cases before royal justices. If the Lord's steward beats you for working too slowly, you cannot file a complaint. If the Lord takes your best ox without compensation, there is no judge who will hear you. You exist inside the Lord's jurisdiction entirely. His steward is your law. His court is your only court. If you challenge the steward tells the Lord. The Lord decides your punishment. The punishments range from fines you cannot pay to labor you cannot survive to physical punishment applied in front of the village as a lesson. You learn early not to challenge anything. You keep your head down. You do the work. You pay the fees. You stay alive. Level 8. The escape attempt. Your cousin ran. He fled to York in the spring of 1261. He hid in the city for 11 months. The law says a serf who lives in a walled town for a year and a day becomes free. Your cousin was 11 days short. The Lord's men found him in a tanner's workshop. They dragged him back to the village in chains. Everyone watched. That was the point. Everyone was supposed to watch. He worked the domain for the next 3 years without any portion of his own land. The steward took his hut. His wife moved back to her father's holding. You watched all of this happen from 30 feet away. You never speak of running again, not out loud. You think about York sometimes. You think about it the way you think about heaven. Possible in theory, out of reach in practice. Level 9. The death of your father. Your father dies in March. He is 41 years old. He looks 60. His hands are destroyed from decades of plowing. His back bent permanently from the angle of field work done without proper tools. He leaves the holding to you. But before you take it, the Lord's steward arrives. He collects the heriot. The heriot is an inheritance tax paid in kind. The Lord takes your father's best animal. Your father's best animal is an ox. The ox is worth everything. Without the ox, you plow by hand. You plow by hand for 2 seasons until you can afford to share a neighbor's animal. Those 2 seasons almost break you. You go to sleep exhausted every night. You wake before dawn already behind. You wonder if your father felt this same weight every day for 20 years. You know he did. You never asked him while he was alive. Level 10. The sickness. The sweating sickness moves through the village in the summer of 1265. It comes from somewhere east and travels fast. You get it in July. 3 days of shaking so violent you cannot hold a cup. Agnes forces broth into you. The Lord sends no physician. There are no physicians for serfs. The priest comes once. He prays over you and leaves. You survive by some combination of luck and Agnes's attention. 4 people in the village do not survive. The steward comes by the 2nd week of August to check on labor availability. He notes your recovery. He adds back your missed obligation days to the end of the season's schedule. You owe the time regardless. Sickness is not an excuse. You work through September into October doing double shifts at the end to satisfy the debt your body created by almost dying. Level 11. The aging. You are 34. You feel 50. Your knees are swollen from years of kneeling in wet fields. Your back has the same permanent curve your father had. You look at your son, who is now 12 and already scaring birds with a stick. And you see the whole shape of his life laid out. The same hut, the same strips, the same steward, the same fees, the same Lord or the Lord's son, or the Lord's son's son. None of that changes. The land does not change hands in ways that help William's son. If it sells, he goes with it, counted in the inventory between the plow and the cattle. You do not tell him this. He will learn it the same way you did. He will learn it by living it. Level 12. The end. You are 43. It is a cold March. Your body has carried 30 years of fieldwork, and it is done. Agnes sits beside you. Your son stands in the doorway. The hut is the same hut you were born in. The dirt floor is the same dirt. The pig is a different pig, but it stands in the same corner. You never traveled more than 20 miles from this spot. You never owned the land you worked every day of your life. You never stood in a court that recognized your voice. The Lord will take your best remaining animal when you are gone. Your son will take the holding. He will pay the fees. He will work the domain 3 days a week and try to keep enough of his own harvest to survive the winter. The cycle does not pause. It does not grieve. It just continues. The same furrow.